that we have, that we talked about at the conference, that it's kind of making the rounds. Not 1,000% sure if it'll happen, but definitely in that phase of potentially could happen. So kind of get some of your thoughts and ideas on it before it kind of gets unveiled to everyone. But we are looking at potentially starting a Thursday night service with the hopes of a few things. One, will it alleviate some of the congestion of the weekend? We don't know that it'll have the largest impact because I'm not saying that it, like, that's not like its only purpose.
Right.
But like, we're hoping it'll create some space. It would be the same as a Sunday.
Yeah.
So worship would be the same, message would be the same. It would actually be the kickoff to the weekend. So it would be like pretty much, Thursday starts it. We are aiming at families that do a lot of traveling on the weekends, or people that wouldn't be able to make a Sunday service because they work on
Right.
Sunday. Now, one of the things that we did to make the third service appealing that we currently have at 11:30 is we put middle school on that during that service so that we could draw that crowd of people, like if you have a junior higher, come to that service because there's a junior higher. So part of the thought, part of the idea is, do we switch our Wednesday night middle school service to Thursday night, because we're gonna have parents here anyways, or parents would be dropping, a lot of parents drop off their kids, wait their time on Wednesday night,
Right.
and then come and pick them up. What if we had a service for them?
Sure.
And then could we instantly put, and there's no guarantee people would stay, but could we instantly put 40 people, couples, 50 people, in that service because you're waiting for your middle schooler to end their service. At this point, the only people, like, it's gonna be soon talked about within the staff, but what I find is most people haven't had time to think through the pros and cons of it, like when it's just like, hey, I wanna let you know about this. So like, I know that we're gonna bring it up probably on Tuesday, maybe next Tuesday, but more than likely this Tuesday. But I want to give you time to pray about it, think about it, form some opinions on it before we talk about it, so it's not just like on the spot. What do you think about Thursday night service? That's really good.
The service on Thursday night, so youth service is from 6 to 8. I know that Wednesday, our normal Sunday is an hour.
They would somewhat. So here's two reasons why it wouldn't happen. Well, a middle school service wouldn't happen on Thursday. If 10% of our kids couldn't come, so not like a ton, but like if we had like 10 kids decide, oh man, we can't come to that because we have football practice or we have blah blah blah, then we wouldn't move. We would stay on Wednesdays.
Okay.
I don't want to sacrifice. Like, it's been long established for 15 years that we do middle school on Wednesdays. So, we don't necessarily need 100% attendance because not even every kid comes every week.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if it's like, if we have a small holdout of kids that are like, we would never be able to come to youth, we're just gonna keep it on Wednesdays. So, essentially what we're thinking is that service would begin at 6:30.
Okay.
And so parents would drop their kids hopefully at 6. There's a good chance that if service starts at 6:30, they're gonna drop their kids off at 6:30, you know, like sort of deal. Service would stay an hour, so 6:30 to 7:30, but we would do things, offer things, like whether it's like, and maybe it's coffee or tea at
Yeah,
6.
just something.
And then a little bit of something at the end, like donuts or something, so that like your kids, like, there's like hangout
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
fellowship time, you know, that sort of deal. There would also be the brief consideration of, do we cut the half an hour of hangout time and we go from 6 to 7:30 on Wednesday night, so that we conclude service when they're done. Sort of deal. So like, hard start, we start at 6, you know, sort of deal. You know, like 6:05 maybe,
Yeah.
you know, sort of deal.
Okay.
So as a thought, but there's about 9,000,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Okay.
so like to this point, pastors have talked about it. We just talked about it with elders. Elders want to know opinions of staff, opinions, sending out a church survey, wanting to know if, you know, it would be good with middle schoolers, they wanna, they're just in data collection mode,
Yeah.
you know. Pretty sure staff will, as a whole, will hear about it tomorrow. And then, kind of based off of all of it, we'll just kind of figure out, if we do not move middle school to Thursday night, I don't wanna say we're not gonna be a part of Thursday, but we would probably be asked to not be a part of Thursday, so as not to add an additional night
I got you.
to our week, since I'm already doing Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you know, sort of deal. So, we would only, and even then, if we're part of the Thursday night, we would still just be doing middle school, we wouldn't be doing the service. So, there isn't really a massive effect, unless, like, on any given week, it's like, hey, you know, you're preaching on Thursday,
Yeah.
or you're preaching that week, so then you'd be preaching the Thursday and the Sunday, and then that would be something that we have to figure out. So, just as you kind of look through and you think through Thursday, what a Thursday night service is what we're really trying to figure out is, A, does it help free up space? And we're not expecting it to free up like hundreds of seats, but like, would it free up space on the weekend? It's a goal, because like ultimately, we feel like we hit 600 several times this semester in attendance.
Yeah.
You know, like sort of deal. I don't think that we will be able to go past 600 without being able to free up space,
Yeah,
because
for
that would
sure.
require so much coordination. Like, we need you guys to show up at the 9 o'clock service because we don't have enough. We need you guys. So like, it would literally come down to, I don't want to say luck, but it would come down to, oh, it just happened to work out. That it's just like, you wanted to watch the Texans game, so you came early, and you guys are going out of town, so you get, so like, there's like this piece. So does that free up space? Number 2, does it help the church continue to grow? 3, is this something that people want? Like, is a Thursday night service, is it viewed as a midweek service? Is it viewed as a weekend service? Like, is it something that people are even looking for? Like, are we gonna do this and it's gonna have 30 people at it? Like,
Just
sort of
curiosity, why not? But what's the different? Why specifically Thursday? As to like already Wednesday's already here. We already had middle school Wednesday night.
Yeah,
Like
for
why
sure.
is
So,
that specific?
not off the table, but Wednesday feels like, and this is the 50-50 question, Wednesday feels like a midweek service, not a
Start of the weekend.
church service. So that's one thought.
Yeah.
And if you have it on Wednesday, there's a very good chance, and this could happen on Thursday too, there's a very good chance on Wednesday that you would have people show up to the Wednesday service and show up to the Sunday service, which isn't terrible, but it does nothing to help us. You know,
No, I get
it almost makes it worse. Not makes it worse because like
They're already there, but
yeah, but it's just like they're getting double doses of church, and now it's like, you know, we're in the same boat, and now we're just working one extra day. You know, because it doesn't necessarily solve a problem. Thursday, that same thing could happen. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's not like.
But I see what you're saying in terms of like, yeah, the Wednesday, Thursday, even just the day shift causes a different.
Yeah,
I
like
guess.
are you getting your church in before the weekend, or are you doing a midweek service?
Yeah.
So I don't know. So Fridays, no one's coming to a Friday night service. Not no one, but probably not.
Not gonna get
Saturdays would be the tough part. Is that we would never, and it's not about solely this, but because of the size of our staff, we would never get 2 days off, essentially. So like Thursdays, it's like we already work Thursdays, we just shift the day. You know, your day starts at noon, sort of deal, rather than the day starting at 8. And then you still have your Friday, Saturday.
That's good.
So that's how Thursday kind of came about.
Okay.
Not saying that it's like the perfect day, but like, because very much it could still feel like a midweek service, but because churches don't traditionally have Thursday services, we kind of feel like we can brand it however we want to.
Yeah.
We could call it a midweek service, and then people would think of it as a midweek service, or we could brand it a weekend service, and then people would say, well, there aren't any other Thursday night services,
Yeah.
so maybe it is a weekend service.
It's good. No, I was wondering on that, as far
Yeah.
as the
For sure.
mindset on that. Right. Okay.
So, obviously, no matter what, adding a fourth service means more volunteers. It means more, it's one more service that worship team's doing. It's, one more service that children's is doing. It is it now makes the service needing to be finished probably by Wednesday, like ready to go by Wednesday
Ready
or
to go.
Thursday morning, like sort of deal, rather than
We have to,
servicing need to be done
we have the race.
pre-Sunday,
Yeah.
yeah. And then it also potentially messes up rehearsal schedules, cause
That's my
Worship.
next thing is wondering how they would do that.
so they would either need to rehearse on a different day, would they need to split teams, like have a Thursday night team, have a Sunday night team. Lots of questions, but definitely, things to think about.
It's cool thinking outside the box. I mean, it's
Yeah.
when you think outside the box, it's a lot of unknowns, and so you just like do all the stuff, all the options. But it's cool to think of. It's cool to have a plan, and at least we think about something.
Yeah, so there's a good chance that we would run it for a minimum of 6 to 12 months.
Yeah.
Would be my guess. Because we ran a Saturday night service for about a year and a half. And when it started to, when we didn't see it growing, and I think partially COVID, we showed that. So we would probably do something similar.
Did you see any alleviation from the Sunday when you had the Saturday service?
The problem is we weren't at this size.
Oh, okay.
So,
Wasn't as
we
much.
did feel the need. We did feel the need to launch a third service, but we weren't like in the 600s, the 550s, 600s. So, yeah, I mean, we had maybe like at the beginning of it, close to 90 to 100 people, and then I felt like at the end we were at like maybe like 60 to 70 people. So still a good chunk of people, but with losing a day off, it just didn't feel like, especially with COVID, I think, in like the overall church attendance dropping. Like it's like we didn't need 3 services again, and so now that we're, so I think for me, like my biggest concerns is outside of like volunteers, being able to staff and all that sort of stuff. My biggest concerns are gonna be does it Sunday mornings is synonymous with church. So this is what we felt like we struggled with Saturday. Is it's like, are we trying to have Christmas Day on December 23rd?
Yep.
Yeah, so people are like, yeah, this is cool, but it ain't Christmas Day. Yeah, so that's my only concern is that, and it's not my concern that it becomes popular, because if it becomes popular, that's awesome. But if, let's say, there's 200 people in the community that are like, I work on Sundays, and this is the only church I'm gonna get in the week, I'd be like, that's a blessing, and that's awesome that we're reaching 200 more people. But then the weight feels even greater that it's like, we didn't alleviate any space on Sunday, and now we're talking about a fifth service, and where do you put that? You know, and it's just like, so that's like, you know, like, and obviously with like the kingdom, that's a good problem to have, but it's like not necessarily wanting to create a problem that creates another problem rather than, you know, finding a solution.
I think my biggest, like one of the things that jump out at me right off the bat is having Wednesday youth and then the church service on Sunday. It seems like if there was going to be middle schoolers that would benefit from that, parent-wise,
Mm-hmm.
it would end up just keeping them and going Thursday. And that seems like a funny notion to me. So like ideally speaking,
So start over, because I thought I was tracking with you, but I'm not 100%.
seeing that if there were students, seeing how many parents would take advantage of this idea of
Yeah.
midweek, right?
Yeah.
Or Thursday, it's kick off the weekend. How many of those parents with students, middle school age, would then just not go to Wednesday night and just attend Sunday morning? Attend Thursday afternoon, sorry. Instead of the Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm. And that could, like, and I don't know what that looks like,
Yeah.
but it could have the desired effect that, like, because we normally have, like last night we had like 22, I think. But let's say 25 kids, and then parents, I don't know if we should count 2 per kid.
1.5.
1.5. So, I mean, we're talking about like taking, let's say, 60 people from the weekend. I don't know if that is helpful to the weekend. Because then does the weekend, does Sunday morning feel not old, but older?
I think that launching it on the same day as the middle school would be beneficial to the parents, to building the core of people that would be coming on a regular to a Thursday, moving it that way. I do think that having it one Wednesday night, one Thursday night, I just think you may be working against yourself in that matter. And if you just combine them, I mean, will be an adjustment to us, but I think you would build that Thursday night core.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that if this doesn't maintain, it doesn't last, or it doesn't build at the rate we'd like to. Let's say, for example, on a Saturday night, when we stop doing that, moving them back to Wednesday, or we would maintain it on Thursday, you know? That would be an issue. The other part for me is that I do think it's beneficial in the sense that, yeah, I mean, you can get parents coming and kids at one time. I do think that's the bonus of the Thursday or any midweek, is that if you can get students, parents to actually be the core that come on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
Well, man, that's like you're already kind of starting from a plus place rather than waiting just to see who shows up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I do like this. I do like that idea.
Do we
But
kill
I'm
the
still-
Sunday junior high class? Because just like as you were saying that, it made me think, like, oh, if they come on Thursdays, like, what does that then do if parents are like, I came on Thursday? And they're
That's-
not bringing their junior high on Sunday at third service.
Well, and that's the next part. The bigger question for me is always going to be, will this really alleviate any Sunday
Yeah.
congestion? That's
Yeah.
my biggest question. Because if it does, then it's a great starting point, and that's what we work on.
Mm-hmm.
I think you would still maintain a middle school Sunday because they do different things.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is, then you're almost guaranteeing at least one and a half parent showing up with their junior high student
Mhm.
to that, 11 o'clock
Mm-hmm.
service. So, my question, I guess, ultimately first would be, I'm on a point of like, what do we get back from the church? If we send out a survey on that, what would their response be? What would the parents of middle school students be? If we were to give them a scenario, hey, if we were to move middle school to Thursday, would you as a family